Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome National President Marcie Natan.
3 years ago, I made my very first trip to Las Vegas, and I was installed here as Hadassah's 25th national president. And I heard Randy say that when she was on Broadway, she had realized kind of her life's dream. 3 years ago, I could not believe that the honor of serving this organization had been given to me. Most of you know it hasn't been an easy 3 years. But I stand here in front of you tonight, and I say if I'd had any idea just how important this opportunity would have been, I would have jumped on it with far more enthusiasm than when I was still making the decision, should I run, shouldn't I run? So I thank you for the honor, and now I will bring you up to date on what is happening with Hadassah today. You are what makes Hadassah possible. And this is a convention, as its theme suggests, for imagining, inspiring, and igniting. But given our recent history, it's also a time of genuine reflection and renewal. This is an exciting and meaningful time for us to be together with others who share our concern about Israel. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank two people for whom Israel is a critical part of their lives, and the reason that they are not going to be with us here during this convention. Sheldon and Miri Adelson, not only for their role in facilitating this convention and providing a place for us to come together, but for all they have done for Hadassah. We are blessed to have such friends and to be associated with these devoted builders of Israel. One of the early slogans of the Zionist movement was Livnot Ulei Hibanot. We would build the Jewish nation, and in turn, we would be built by it. We brought 102 years after Hadassah's founding, that slogan has come true again, not in the metaphoric sense, but literally. When Hadassah was born, the land of Israel was devoid of health care. Zionist leaders understood that to bring about Jewish independence, they had to build the institutions of a state. Hadassah took on the task of building the healthcare foundations. We later added education and child rescue to our projects. By 1948, we had created a network of more than 130 hospitals, clinics, dispensaries, and child welfare stations. We turned most of those medical outposts over to the new government, but kept our hospital in Jerusalem as the flagship of Israeli medicine. We brought high-level treatment and research to an emerging nation. Every Israeli knows our name. People around the world recognize the quality medical care and education that is the result of our efforts. Hadassah has been a pivotal factor in Israel's development as a healthy and prosperous society. For the entire life of Israel as a sovereign nation, Hadassah's name has been synonymous with healing and with excellence. You all know of the financial crisis our medical center faced over the past year. Now we are on a historic path of recovery. What I want to emphasize today is how the state we helped bring into being and whose growth was nurtured by us is now partnering with us to build a new future for the Hadassah Medical Organization. Thank you. Under this significant agreement, HMO's unions have accepted difficult cuts in staffing and salaries. The government of Israel will inject nearly 2 billion shekels into HMO over the next 7 years. Hadassah, over and above our $19 million annual allocation to HMO, has pledged additional contributions and will be transferring some real estate to the government of Israel. This is not to mention ongoing fundraising for our state-of-the-art research and the equipping and furnishing of the Sarah Wetzman Davidson Hospital Tower. Under the terms of our agreement, HWZOA remains the owner of Hadassah Medical Center and will maintain a practical majority on the HMO board. In addition to appointing 4 of the board's 9 members, we will appoint the chair with the approval of the government. An independent overseer has been selected by HWZOA and the government to monitor all significant financial transactions. More than what the agreement says is what it represents. A new relationship between Hadassah and the government of Israel. It represents the government's recognition of ongoing diaspora participation in Israeli society, and specifically the role of Hadassah in building the nation. Even as we dealt with difficult financial issues, Hadassah continued to function like the dynamic organization it has always been, and today is treating soldiers wounded in Gaza. And just before coming in to this opening, the Society of Major Donors met, and we raised $750,000 the beginning of what you and I will do to show our support during this convention. Walking the corridors of our medical center, meeting with caregivers and patients, looking up in wonder at our new tower, meeting with our youth Aliyah students and with young Judeans, or simply looking out at each and every one of you and feeling your energy reminds us of the importance of all of our work. Here are some of our newest successes. A new hospital protocol for ambulance paramedics has dramatically reduced the fatality rate from heart attacks. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved phase 2 clinical trials of stem cell technology developed at HMO for treating ALS. The International Orthopedic Society invited HMO to become its first member in the Middle East. Professor Eitan Kerem of HMO's Department of Pediatrics received the annual prize of the European Cystic Fibrosis Society. The Hadassah Experimental School, which provides education for hospitalized children, won Israel's National Education Award. We treated patients airlifted from the fighting in Ukraine. Our hospitals function every day regardless of war, terror, recession, or financial difficulties, just as they have since we first opened our doors. In addition to the ongoing work at our hospitals, here are a few highlights about our youth in Israel. This past year saw the first Ethiopian heritage mission for our Youth Aliyah village, Mea Shveya. What a powerful opportunity for students to visit the land of their fathers and mothers and understand the connection between the ancient Jewish community in Ethiopia and their lives today in Israel. And right now, those villages are housing families who have fled from the war in the south and feel safer and more secure within our villages. And that is being made possible by you. Last December, in partnership with Young Judea, we launched the Leaders of Tomorrow Award for young women, created to groom future Zionist leaders. The most astonishing thing about the competition for the first year was the caliber of the applicants. The winner and 4 runners-up, who were so impressive that we offered each of them a $1,000 scholarship to attend the program, are all now in Israel. Here in the United States, this was the year we launched the Hadassah Leadership Fellows Program. As Janice reported, we will be re-engaging with advocacy in America. As delegates, you will be called upon to consider proposed policy statements that will inform our advocacy program going forward. We will be launching new models of membership engagement to attract future members. My thanks to our amazing volunteers and staff, led by Janice, for all the work that has gone into these and other initiatives. You will hear much more about these efforts during the next few days. You'll also see and hear 3 particular words many times. Imagine, inspire, ignite. These words form a fitting theme for this convention because they encapsulate Hadassah's history. Henrietta Zold and our founding generation imagined not only a Jewish state, but also a role for American Jewish women in building it. We are the heirs of their imagination. Every Hadassah generation has been inspired to continue building, often in the face of tremendous obstacles. We are the bearers of that inspiration and of the passion it engenders. The first 2 nurses who went to Jerusalem ignited Hadassah's medical mission, and that first project generated the sparks that grew into Hadassah's central role in the Zionist enterprise. Every time one of us engages a new member, we add to an eternal flame representing the role of women in Jewish leadership and the strengthening of the Jewish state. We have an exciting convention ahead of us, from the current situation in the Middle East to effective pro-Israel advocacy, from engaging in Tikkun Olam to combating violence against women, from promoting healthy hearts to mastering social media. And this is an abbreviated list. There is something for everyone on the agenda. We'll talk about the future of our hospitals, and there will be an incredible and emotional surprise at the HMO plenary. Please don't miss it. On Wednesday night, we will present the Henrietta Zold Award to Israel's first responders. And when our work is completed, we'll do what we always do. And you know our region presidents have already been practicing. We'll dance. At the end of this opening gala, I want to invite all of you to the delegates' welcome reception. There, we will celebrate the 18th birthday of Keepers of the Gate. It was 18 years ago that one member, Leona Browser, from one chapter, had a vision that has become Hadassah's premier annual giving society and raised more than $45 million. I'd like to ask all the keepers of the gate in the audience, including associate keepers, to please rise so that we can give you the recognition you deserve. Thank you. The number 18, of course, symbolizes life. The keepers of the gate, the people you saw standing, have not only breathed life into many of our projects over the past 18 years, they've also helped to give and preserve life in the most concrete ways. And we are using this occasion to launch an 18-month annual giving celebration. I'd like to thank Regine Sixt, her company, Sixt Rent-A-Car, and the Sixt Aid Foundation for sponsoring this evening's reception. Regine is a long-standing member of the Hadassah family and a generous supporter of HMO and Hadassah Children's School. So come to the reception for the festivities. Come for the photo ops. You can even do those selfies. And come meet a guest you probably didn't expect to see, or maybe knowing where you are, you did. Henrietta Zold. We'll cover a lot of serious business over the next few days, but this is also a well-earned chance to celebrate our accomplishments. A complete picture of this past year shows that it has been full of what can be called success by any measure. I've cited a few examples here that show how the past year has been one of the best in our history. But despite the satisfaction from good work, despite the accolades, this past year has also been, clearly, one of our most difficult. There were moments when many of us may have despaired of having the same chance our mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers had to participate in the building of the Jewish state in the advance of its health care, in the promise of its future. It turns out, based on the labors of many dedicated members and Hadassah associates, donors, friends, and supporters, that we will have that chance. With us here as well, are a group from Israel, without whose support this could not have happened. And I would like Audrey, I'm sure they better still all be in the room. Audrey, Shimron, Audrey. David Spector. Is David still here? Racheli. Barbara Sofa, are you floating? Barbara Goldstein. Where's BG? Oh, I tell you. And here I must recognize as well from our New York team, our CFO, Rick Annis, and our Chief Counsel, Cheryl Zellickson. The road to recovery will not be easy, but we have begun the journey, and the opportunity is ours. We will work, and when we can, we will celebrate. We will build, and we will be built. We will imagine, inspire, and ignite.